Hi, this is Colleen Meyer with Meyer Mintz Consulting. Today, we're going to be talking to Susie Aguilar here on We Lead. We Lead stands for Women Entrepreneurs Leading, Educating, Analyzing, and Developing. Today, Susie's going to talk to us. Susie is the CEO and founder of Unorthodox Business Mom. Susie, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, thank you, Colleen, for having me here with you. So in my business, I love to empower women. That's the fundamental thing that I love to do is I love motivating women to chase after their goals, to push through any fears that they're facing, and to escape the toxic 9-to-5 corporate world when they're stuck there, because sometimes we get stuck there. And my desire is to help them through that. So I do that through intensive coaching that I love to help them build roadmaps. And I also speak and share motivational messages as well.
What made you get into this business? What drawn you into helping women to get away from the 9-to-5?
You know, it's kind of funny because I am in the 9-to-5 world myself. I've been there for over about 15 years now. So I've learned that you can sometimes have a 9-to-5 that you enjoy. Sometimes you find one that is not so enjoyable, and that you can have a balance of not only having that career, but you can also build a business as well. And in that journey for me, what it looked like was I dabbled in some small businesses that just intrigued me a few years ago. And the core thing that kept happening for me was I loved engaging with women, and I love seeing women achieve their goals. And I wanted to do it in my own way, not on someone else's terms. So I designed my own way of doing that for women through my coaching, and just fell in love with it because I was naturally doing it in my career. Actually, I was already mentoring women. I was helping them like, oh, I want to bounce to this, new level in my career. How do I do that? How do I get there? Or I want to transition to this other area. How do you make that change? Because it's a scary leap sometimes. And especially if we're leaving the corporate world into entrepreneurship, it's especially scary because it's a whole different dynamic. And what I learned is that it just came naturally to me to be able to inspire these women, to help them in their journeys, and just be an accountability partner with them really along the way, which is what I enjoy the most, is being able to support them in their process of that transition. So yeah, I just stumbled across my own small business a few years ago, and then it led me into just kind of embracing my natural abilities. And I always talk about fear. I actually have a podcast on fear because I feel like we allow fear to really restrict us and hold us back from a lot of the goals and desires that we have. And so what I talk a lot about on the podcast is how we can build our confidence, how we can help, ourselves in the process of growing into this woman that we're becoming, whether it be in career or life, because I believe that it all blends together. You don't just separate completely your professional journey and your personal journey. Like they're a beautiful blend as one. And how do we juggle, both arenas? Because for me as a mom, like motherhood's part of my journey, and for plenty of other women too. So on my podcast, I just talk about a lot of things related to how we make fear our friend and we embrace it instead of just running from it and getting stuck. Like we need to face it. We need to take some action steps. And that's a lot of what I do in my coaching as well, is I help women through that process to recognize, okay, yeah, this feels scary, but if I lay out a plan that's made for me, I can definitely make this happen. And so that's kind of how it unfolded over time.
When you're dealing with women looking to get out of their 9-to-5, do you think that fear is the number one reason that's stopping them, or is there another reason that's stopping them?
I think fear is a major component of that. Absolutely. The other one is confidence, because it's something maybe we haven't done before. So if we're not too sure, we're unclear, we're uncertain, right, of like what that's going to look like on the other side, we're not really confident in it because we haven't done it before. So part of the process is building up our confidence and setting some really good goals around what direction we're heading in, So that way, as we start to take these, I call them baby steps, as we start to take these little baby steps along the way, we start to generate some momentum towards them achieving that goal of like, I'm ready to leave in 6 months, a year, whatever that timeline is for them. And it looks different for everyone. But yes, absolutely. Fear is a huge underlier, confidence, and then not really having clarity and direction of where they're going. Because what I see happening is we have this dream that we want to try something new and different. And then when we do, we're like, oh, well, but how do I do that? How do I get there? And in order to get there, we have to have some milestones in place and develop this roadmap of goals of how we're going to get there. So I think it's kind of a three-pronged, a challenge for us when we're making these big pivots, but those are the main things that I see with the women that I work with.
That's amazing. If you could go back and talk to Susie from 20 years ago, what would you say to her?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. What would I say to her? I would say, take care of your skin because aging, right? No, I would say.
Got me on that one.
That's how I feel. I'm speaking for myself because, real life, but.
And for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I would say to myself is I faced a lot of challenges in these 20 years. And I would say, just keep pushing forward. Don't stop, just keep pushing forward. There's not going to be the perfect path. There's not going to be the absolute ideal journey to take, because guess what? Life loves to throw curveballs at us all the time. And even when it feels scary and it feels challenging, we have to keep pushing through. So just keep showing up for ourselves and keep pushing every day towards whatever that vision is and whatever those goals are for us.
How did you come up with the name, the Unorthodox Business Mom? I love that.
Thank you. Well, I love that you asked that question, because it's funny. I get asked that question quite a bit. And it's so interesting to me that everyone's like, well, where did that come from? And where it came from is I like to think outside the box. I believe that we always are in this bubble of comfort, and it's nice and cozy and we want to stay there. But our biggest growth is beyond that comfort zone. And so I like to say that we're going to create a discomfort zone, and we're going to expand and push beyond that comfy, cozy area we enjoy, right? And that comes to play for me with how we look at careers, with how we look at businesses. I don't think that we need to follow everyone else's rules, the traditional expectations. Like, I work in a male-dominated industry. I want to break down barriers. I want to shatter the expectations of what a woman can do in any industry. And so I like to think outside the box. And that's where Unorthodox came to life. I like to do things unorthodox. And I believe that little inner rebel in each one of us is something that we should embrace. And as far as business mom, it was just kind of went with the flow with it. I'm a mom and I can't hide that. And I just feel very passionate about my motherhood journey, and just being a parent is a wonderful gift in my life, and business is part of the process. So I just meshed them all together and the business was born.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that a lot. I love the, in a men's world, and that's so powerful. If someone wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
The best way is definitely through my website. It's where you can get all the information of everything that, you can see that I offer. So it's unorthodoxbusinessmom.com. And so they can go there. There's a contact me page. They can send me messages if they've got questions. I'm on social media as well as Unorthodox Business Mom. So that pretty much consistent all around. They can find me there. But the website, I feel, is always the best, because you can connect with people more that way.
And what about your, if they wanted to listen in on your podcast, what's the name of your podcast?
Oh, great. The podcast is called She Embraces Fear, and it's everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. They can just search for it and find it there, or they can look up my name, Susie Aguilar, and it will pop up as well.
Well, thank you very much. That's amazing. Thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us and share your experience and about your business. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time.